Well, hi everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means that it's time for us to talk about coping with life and making a meal on a budget. And that's what we do every Friday. Is we try to look at fun ways to use up leftovers, and so that we can at least one day a week, see what we've got left in the fridge. I like to do it on a Friday because I do the broadcast. And also it helps me see how much I'm overspending. I don't know about the rest of you, but I found that I was throwing away or putting too much stuff into the freezer. And so now what I'm trying to teach myself is to use up the stuff in the freezer and to modify what I buy every week. And I do recommend, if you're buying vegetables, buy whatever vegetables are in season whenever you can. And if you do have room in your freezer to, keep some on hand frozen, I like to do, cook squash up and then use it up during the year. Um, I don't know about you guys, what you like to freezer bank, as Jody calls it. And for those of you who don't know, hi there, Jody. Jody is our admin and she looks after us. And here comes Isabel. We have a group of people who come together and inspire me on a Friday night. I'm going to be asking, what else should I put in here? And they will tell me because they always do. So I just wanted to let you know what I've got ready. Because that's going to make it easy. First of all, my question is, do you know what one serving of mac and cheese is? What do you think one serving is? Just let me see where your guesses are and see if I sort of made a quick guess before I saw the the actual. And for those of you who need to know, it is not as many um, spoons as I can get onto my plate the first time, and then probably the same again for leftovers. Second helpings, right? Uh, yes, Isabel saying 1 cup of cooked mac and cheese is the right thing. So how much dry per cup do you know is? And, that's what I'm trying to do every week, is to make sure that we know what a portion is. If we know what a portion is, then we also know how to freeze a bank, right? And as you know, I have oops, if I turn that on properly, um, I'm going to be cooking and then freezing, hopefully 3 helpings, but eating one tonight. And I don't know about you, but mac and cheese to me is my comfort food. And I love to be able to do it. And what I will say is, for all of you who've been watching me make stuff on with this little container, which has these little 1 cup portions in it, it's really strange. I didn't think that I would find this enough. And it's amazing how I have taken out, a 1 cup portion and thought, I wonder. And, it is just the right amount. It's amazing. And if it isn't, then add things to it, like think about that. What can I add to it to bulk it up a bit if I need it? Maybe add a salad. Maybe add some more vegetables, something that's healthy. As you know, I have lost now 11 pounds this year without dieting. It's all part of my new way of eating, and it includes mac and cheese, and it includes all sorts of other things. It includes fries, but it's just I'm eating less of them than I used to, right? So portion control, without a doubt, has helped me so much. So while I'm talking, I'm going to start by showing you what I've got, but I'm going to first of all put the mac and cheese, the macaroni in. So we know that 1 cup is a portion. And did anybody guess how much dry do you need to get 1 cup cooked? And the answer is half a cup. So for so what I've got here for 4 portions is 2 cups. Yep, 2 cups of dry, right? And I'm going to put in 4 cups of water. So I've got a 2-to-1 going on there. And I'm going to actually, I meant to put it all into here, but you've seen that I did that, so that's good. Now, I'm not going to do what I call the right way of cooking mac and cheese. I'm going to show you, first of all, how I make quick mac and cheese. And then I'm going to show you how I make healthier mac and cheese. Because some days I just want good old-fashioned mac and cheese, and some days I don't. So we've got that in there. I'm inclined to spritz in a little bit of olive oil, just so it doesn't all stick together. And put the lid on like that. And I'm going to put it in the microwave. And in fact, you're going to see me use my microwave for most of this today because I want to show you how I do it when I'm in a hurry. Now, cooking in the microwave with a lot of water, you're going to need to keep opening the microwave, let the steam out, and then start again. And, knowing my luck, I'll probably over steam my microwave and it'll stop, but that's all part of our fun, right? In the meantime, I wanted to let you know that I did pre-cook a little bit of bacon. And how I pre-cook bacon quickly is I put some paper towel down and I cut up like that, cut up the bacon. So I've got 2 layers of it here. So I cook it in the microwave 1 minute per rasher. And that will give you pre-cooked but not crispy, pre-cooked bacon, okay? So now that you've seen that, the other thing is that I like about it is I've now got a paper towel full of bacon fat. Now my birdies love that. Here we go. And there's still plenty of fat around. So I'm going to put that into a plastic bag until I'm ready to feed it to the birdies. I'm going to actually mix it all up with some fat and some oats, and then they can have a feast on it. Okay, so there we go. I keep all these bags that I get the fruit in from the grocery store because it's amazing how many things you can use it for. Right. And as you saw, I keep them in a paper towel roll. Keeps them under control. The other thing I have done is I've pulled out some vegetables from my freezer. I've got some cabbage there. I've got some I've got some fresh chives, got a little bit of carrot. I'm just about to add some more. Oh, and some cauliflower. Okay, hi Beth, good to see you. So to that, I'm going to be adding, I'm going to chop up some more carrot. This is for the healthier version. I'm going to do a vegetable mac and cheese. And so I'm just going to, I've got some carrot left over this week. I wonder how many carrots you order each week for yourself. Okay, so there we go. We'll add that in. And also I've got some red pepper. So I'm just going to chop that up. As well, eat the rainbow. Yep. So that is, I would say, roughly a good good serving of vegetables, all right? All different colors. We'll use that in a second. In the meantime, I'm just going to stir the mac and cheese, the mac. And all I'm doing is 3-minute blasts. And as I talk to you, it will cook nicely. All right, so everybody has their own way of cooking mac and cheese. How many of you like to cook it from scratch? I think a lot of us grew up with real mac and cheese. When I say real mac and cheese, it didn't come out of a packet. And I've got a saying in my household, which is if I make it, I can eat it. In other words, I can have mac and cheese, but it means I've got to take the time to make it. And also, I need portion control. So, unless I'm going out for a meal, which I am tomorrow. I'm going for a meal with Yvonne tomorrow and Wade, and that means it'll be poutine. All right, so Jody's saying, I cook from scratch, but sometimes rely on craft dinner from time to time. Yes, so, it depends. It depends what you grew up with. I would think this generation, they probably would go, cook it from scratch? You mean you don't get it out of a packet? Why would you waste the time, all right? And so the question is, why would we? Because it tastes different to me. That's just my feeling. That's the reason I like to cook it from scratch, because that's the one I grew up on. Now, if you grew up with it out of a packet, obviously the homemade version will taste totally different. And I've noticed that with children. If I have children here and I cook mac and cheese, they're expecting it to taste like craft dinner. All right. And of course it doesn't, because it's made a different way. All right. However, it's a really important thing as well to know there's nothing wrong with mac and cheese if you eat it with portion control and also in moderation. Yes, Jody's saying it tastes better when you make it yourself, and also you can control what goes into it. Jody, I wanted to ask you, because you're the expert on this. I don't make a sauce with the KD shaker. I'm inclined to use that if I'm doing stuff, what do you call it? Pan fry stuff, and I want to have a cheesy sort of taste to it. I just sprinkle it over. But I wonder what the rest of you, do any of you use this? And if so, I'd love to know how you use it. Do you use it to make a cheese sauce, for example? I'm going to show you how I make mine. And I'm going to do two versions, a regular one, as I said, and one that I think is slightly healthier. And what I do is I never know which is the healthy one and the not so healthy one. So when I pull it out of the freezer later, it's just like, oh, that was the healthy one. So that's the third time, and it's getting there. It's beginning to cook now. So that's good. And I'm going to start by making the healthier sauce. Now, I used to do this the right way. I was taught to do it, with the roux. How many of you start with the flour roux at the beginning? ROUX. And that is, you put some butter in, and then you put some flour with the butter, and then you cook that up. And then from there onwards, I don't do that anymore. All right. So this is the wrong way, but it's my way, and it works for me. So what I will do is I will take some flour. And this is regular all-purpose flour. And I'm going to put in 1 cup. I'm going to do it with half cups because my 1 cup doesn't fit in here. There we go. In fact, that's probably too much. No, that's way too much. I don't normally measure, you know that. So about 1.5 cups is what I would use. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? When I never measure, I just know roughly how much I put in there. And now I measure it and I'm going, no, apparently I don't put 2 cups in. All right, so 1.5 cups of flour. And when I'm making my sauce, I add 2% milk. And we got 1.5 cups, so I probably add about 2 cups of milk. The joke is I never cook it and think. So this is going to be interesting. All right, so I'm going to just put that in the blender. And that's one. And I'm just going to sort that out. Hi, Beth. Monday. All right. So Beth is saying Monday is my CT scan of lungs and an MRI of brain, MRI of shoulder. It's been torn. You've torn your rotator cuff, mammogram. Wow. Next week, CT scan of liver and a biopsy if needed. I feel like a car getting a tune-up. No, I think that's more than a tune-up. That's somebody being really diligent. And the reason why you need all this done, Bethy, is why. Jody, can we make a note so that we support Beth on Monday? Wow. Perhaps you can just take a screenshot of all of that so I can remember it. Okay, so you're really sick. I'm really sorry to hear that. And by the way, I really appreciate the fact that you're here with us when you're that sick. I am really sorry to hear that. And, our thoughts and prayers obviously go with you, Beth. And with your permission, I'll put up for thoughts and prayers later on because Jody will remind me. I'm going to carry on like I hadn't heard all of that. Yep, I know you. Good. No news is good news, right? We'll worry about it when we know what it is, right? And that's a really good way of dealing with it, right? When I know there's something to worry about, I will worry about it. Obviously, something's not right. Interesting. Izzy's saying when she makes mac and cheese, she has special cheese there in, I think Iz is in Quebec. All right, like Cheese Whiz, but more healthy. And we add cubes of ham and some little green peas. It's pretty good. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. We've all got different ways of adding things in. And I'm going to show you what I do on the second, I'm going to do the plain one first, and then we'll do the more interesting one. That sounds like a great mac and cheese, by the way. All right. Oh, it's getting hot now, people. Which is good. That was 9. And I think the next 3, it's already looking pretty good. The next 3 should do it. So that's the macaroni cooked in 12 minutes, which I think is pretty fast, all right? So we've done that. That's good. We can put that away for the time being. The second sauce I'm going to make is going to be the more healthy version, all right? So what I'm going to do is put in half a cup of regular flour, and then half a cup of almond flour. It's a little bit more than half a cup there. So immediately it is that much healthier. Okay, and now what I'm going to add to it is oat milk. All right, do we all agree it's getting healthier by the moment? Now what I found is almond flour absorbs liquid in a different way from regular flour, so let's see what it looks like and we'll play with it if we need to. So there we are, very simple. And I just want to see the consistency. Yeah, that's too thick. Okay, that's what I wondered. So we're going to add some more liquid to it. What you want it to be is a bit like whipping cream. A little bit on that side. There we go, that's a lot better. Even that is a little on the thicker side, but you understand it runs freely. Okay, and let's see how we did with the other one. This is the one made with regular, you see that's way thicker. All right, so we're going to need more liquid in there, and I will be adding more regular milk into that one, because that is way too thick. Well, let's just do it the easy way. Pour most of that out, and then we'll get some more milk. So what did we have? The boiling thing overflowed into my microwave, which is good. We like that. Luckily, it didn't go right over. We're just going to soak that up. So there we go. There's the macaroni. We did 4 blasts of 3 minutes, so that's 12 minutes total in the microwave. And that is now cooked. But before I use it, I don't know if you guys do this, but before I use it, I like to rinse it off completely so that any extra, I can just get rid of that extra bit of starch that's probably in there. Amazing how much we get, isn't it? All right, so let's rinse that off. And probably the distance was too great for you to see that, but it started off coming out cloudy, and then I just kept the water running until it's rinsing clear. All right, Beth is saying, I'm getting ready to plant new flowers at work. Yes, the local garden center donated flowers this year because they love to see the flowers bloom when they come into the shop. Yes, and you know something? I am the same. I've had mine under my covered deck for about a month now, and I'm about to go and get the last of the summer ones that will go out in a few weeks. But I'm ahead of the game. I bought them small, and I grew them up to a big size. So I'm looking forward to planting those. All right, so here we go. This is the regular, right? Yeah, and that one, oh, wrong one. And this one is the thing. So the first thing I do is I like to add black pepper because that's good for me. And I add some cheese, but later. So first thing I'm going to do is to zap this for 2 minutes. Then I will stir it, zap it for another 2 minutes, and I will know that it is cooked when it is more, and it starts to get thicker. That is also great to know. So what you're saying, Beth, is that you hand out cards for the nursery if anybody asks you about the plants. That's it. They supply the plants and you do the promotion. I like that. And probably not a bad idea to even have a little sticker in there that people can read that said these flowers were donated by the XYZ nursery. That why not do that so that they know where to get them? Pressure, Beth. I'm one of those people, right? It doesn't have to be that big, but it's just, it would be and then take a picture of it and obviously send it to the garden center so they know that you don't take it for granted. That will encourage them to send you flowers more often. All right, so in the meantime, I'm going to take all these vegetables, and we're going to do it the way that confuses children. We're going to put some of the mix in with it. This is the healthier mix. And then blend it all into the sauce. All right, you've seen me do that before, but I love to do that if I'm making a healthier version for children, because they just don't realize that all those vegetables are in there. Mind you, I'm a big kid, so I do it so that I don't see the vegetables, but I know I'm eating them, which is better for me. Oh, yeah, that's beginning to thicken already. And I'm obviously going to need more liquid in here. But first we'll find out how thick it's going to get. The good news is I will have more cheese sauce than I need, and which means that I will be able to freeze some cheese sauce, which is very useful, because then, when I am making something some evening, I can just, pour a cup of cheese sauce over the top. So that's good. Add a little bit more liquid to it. Okay. And again, I just do it in 2-minute increments, because that way it doesn't overcook. If it starts to thicken up, it'll do it, but not too badly. And that's okay with me. All right, so this is the healthier version. And we'll get that one ready. But we're going to mix it in with the that needs more liquid. And remember, we're using oat milk for this one. And there we go. So this is the healthier version with vegetables. And then we're going to add the rest of this in there. Mix it up. It's definitely thickening up. And that's the flour that's thickening. So now, to be honest, when I cook this normally, I would cook it until it's just about ready and then blend it to make sure that, there's some lumps in there that I don't like. So, but what we'll do this evening is we will just strain it so we get rid of those lumps. Both ways work. All right, so this is the second sauce. And that is pretty thick, because of the vegetables. So let's add some more liquid to it. Now, Jody, you know a lot about this, how this shaking cheese. Is it healthier or as healthy as regular cheese? In other words, shall we do the experiment and just shake some of that cheese in here for starters? Let's do that. Okay, so this is just the shaking cheese, and let's just shake some in there. And we'll cook it up with the rest of it. And this is going to be pretty thick when I cook it, so we're going to have way too much of this as well, which is awesome. All right, now I think what I'm going to do is to put some of the bacon in here already. The rest we'll put as a topping. There we go. I'm not 100% sure how thick the almond flour is going to get. So that's why I'm sort of being a little bit hesitant about how much liquid to put in with the almond flour. Once it starts to cook, I'll know. So it's a little bit of play it by ear, which is how I cook, as you know. Okay, so that's pretty thick. Getting there. And it's thicker than I wanted. And so I'm definitely going to have fun with this, because now what I'm going to do is put it into my food processor and blend it. Where is it? Here we go. And this, I would say, is the ultimate in cheating. So we know it's way too thick and glutinous, and I don't mind at all, because I've got the machinery to sort that out. Now, obviously, when I do this in a saucepan and hand do it, I don't end up with this mess, but I just wanted to show you both ways. All right, so I'm going to add some more milk to it, because it definitely needs it. And I'm also going to put in a good handful of cheese, probably half a cup, while it's hot. Okay. Like that. Good. All right, so now let me show you how liquid it is. All right, it's back to being as liquid as I wanted it. All right, so it runs off the fork. It's not holding onto the fork. So there we have it. I think that's about half. So what I'm going to do is to pour this over the top. Okay. And now I'm going to add different cheeses to it. All right. Yeah, comfort food is what I fancy today. So we're going to add in a bit more shredded cheese. This is a mix of mozzarella and cheddar. So I'm just going to mix that in a bit. And then what I'm going to do is also across the top, I'm going to put a mixture of breadcrumbs. These are breadcrumbs I've made from the ends of my loaves. All right, so these are breadcrumbs. I haven't toasted the breadcrumbs. They're just straight raw breadcrumbs and some Parmesan cheese to give it that extra kick. And we're going to mix that in. And the breadcrumbs will give it a crunch. We like that. So let's put some of that over the top. And then we'll add some tomato. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese. And there, I'm now going to put it in at 350 in my oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. Okay. But first I'm going to warm up the oven to 350. Right. It's interesting. Yeah, Jody's saying, I love breadcrumbs on mac and cheese. All the better with Parmesan. Yeah, I just find that that gives it a bit of crunch and just that nice little topping. And now Isabel's saying, now just try and eat 1 cup. Well, that's the whole thing. The whole reason that we're doing this is because they're going to get frozen into 1 cup portions. Once it's cooked, I'm just going to put it in here. And normally I would just cook them without the topping, but yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? And so this is just so you can see what it looks like. All right. But I agree with you. That's why I freeze them in 1 cup portions. And the truth is, even if I have 2 cups, as long as I don't have it too often, 2 cups, just the thing is this, I don't leave that as it is because, I'll go back for seconds and thirds. Oh, Jody's saying I've also used French onions on top. Okay, hang on a second. French onions. I got those. Oh, let's do that on the healthier one. That'll be a wonderful addition. Thank you. Okay. So now we've got all of this. And what I'm going to do is just rinse this off. And what I want to do is to where is my other? Okay, so what I found out is these sort of small snack size bags are about a cup. So what I'm going to do is just put they don't close easily, people. Whoops, that didn't close at all. Come on now, behave yourself. Okay. We're not going to do it with it because that's obviously not going to work. So I'm going to do it my other cheating way, which I love. Which is in my muffin containers. And this is about half a cup each, I've discovered. Okay, so this is our regular silicone molds are very difficult to keep flat. Whoop. From my experience. So what I do is when I put them in the freezer, I actually put them on a little tray, not this tray. I know I'm going to have 2 of these, so I don't want to waste this cream cheese, though, this cheese sauce. There we go. All right, so we know we're going to have both. Stop moving itself. All right, so let's put this one in now, which is mostly, we're now doing the one that is mostly good stuff. All right, let's see what people have said. Yes, Iz is saying that if she makes a big thing of mac and cheese and it stays in the oven, you'll go back for seconds and thirds. That's why as soon as I've made it, I will take some out to eat tonight, and then the rest will be frozen in 1 cup portions. So if I have 1 cup, that's fine. If I have 2 cups, it's fine. I can't go back because I will decide whether, sometimes I just want 1 cup for lunch. all right? Or maybe, even half a cup for lunch. No, I have a cup. All right, so we've got that in the air fryer for 15 minutes. Let me turn on the fan. And I need to turn on my other fan because we don't want the fire alarm to go. I have a second fan that blows things away from the fire alarm. That works really well. All right, so I'm going to put that on the side. So remember what we did is we did 2 cups total dry, and this is, it made an amazing amount, I think. Okay, let's do that. We're going to blend this up quickly. Oh, we haven't even cooked it yet, and I'm blending it. All right, so let's cook this up in what? Need another jar. Where's my second jar? Oh, I'm good. I've lost the jar. Oh, there it is. I don't want that one. Okay. All right, so this is the healthier version. And we are going to just cook that up. Again, I'm just going to do it in 2-minute increments. And I really do recommend that you freeze whatever cheese sauce you have left over because it's so useful. All right, Jody is saying pumpkin would absolutely work. Oh, hang on, let me go back. Yeah, Kez is saying, hi, for a healthier version, you could do pumpkin sauce. That would, and a nut crumble on top. Yeah, what a nice idea. You see, that's what I'm saying, that every week when we do these things, it's not just what I imagine, it's like what you add to it. And Jody's saying pumpkin would absolutely work, as would butternut squash. Yeah. And what about spaghetti squash? Blend it up. I bet you that would work really well. And so, you look at it and you go, macaroni doesn't have to be all bad. It's just think about it in a more creative way. As you know, I allow myself any of the bad things, mashed potato, rice, macaroni, whatever, I just have it in moderation. All right. So I try not to have more than a cup of it. But if I make 4 cups today and freeze them, well, no, one cup's going down very fast into my stomach. Maybe a bit more than 1 cup because it's Friday. But you understand, it's just like, and the rest of it I can freeze and enjoy it during the month. And I want to tell you that I've been eating some of the stuff that we made about a month ago. Remember when we did that chicken in cider, apple cider? I want to tell you, I've had a couple of helpings of that a month later, and I want to tell you that is actually one of the nicest tastes I've had in a long time. Really, really enjoying it. How many of you are lucky enough to have a flat top stove? The reason I ask about that is because I'm amazed now how much of my prep work I actually do on that stove. It's so easy after I finished just to wipe it down, rather than on a board or something. I just thought I would mention that. You can put down your spoons and everything else, and then it's just easy. Just after you finish, just wipe it all down with a cloth, and it's clean. So good idea. All right, so these breadcrumbs that are left, right? Remember, these are fresh breadcrumbs. So what I will do tonight while I'm binge watching something is I will put these in the toaster oven and let them at about 200, let them dry out. I'll keep moving them around every half hour, and then I will let them dry, cool down overnight. And then I will fill up my bottle of breadcrumbs so that whenever I want a toasty topping, I can use them. Kimmy is saying that these tops are hard to keep clean. Depends what you use to clean it. All right, so let's hear from people. Anybody who's got one of these glass top ovens, how do you keep yours clean? I do mine, if it's got crud left on it for some reason, I'll just put a wet cloth on it for the time that I'm cooking, that I'm doing something. And every time I come out, I wipe it and just put it back again until it moves most of it. If I've got some very stubborn things, I will use one of those silicone sponges, the white ones, Mr. Clean type thing. I don't use his, but that sort of thing. One of those silicone sponges. I also find I use, if there's a big thing that's done, I will use this just to quietly scrape it. All right, Jody's saying Lionel uses Clorox wipes to clean. Yeah. So whatever, doesn't really matter. What have you tried, Kimmy? Or rather, have we given you... you use the expensive stuff, all right? She's saying, I think it's called Wiseman. Yes, there is special stuff that they charge you a fortune for, which you don't need to use, quite honestly. You can do it with just putting a wet cloth on it. It will take most of it off. Yeah, you got Clorox wipes. So just leave it on there for a little while. You see, the thing is just to let the crud get softened. And if the Clorox wipe dries, just wet it down a bit again and let it soak into the thing. Just be patient. That's the whole thing. You use baking soda and vinegar, yes, which is basically what you will have in a lot of those things. I find, quite honestly, that a soap-filled Brillo pad, one of those soap-filled ones, just very gently, also works really well. Just don't scratch it. Just use it very gently. If you've got liquid Vim, that stuff today is the same as it. Glass cleaner, yeah, you can use all sorts of different things. So I just, quite honestly, I want to tell you, most of the time, about once a week, I give it a really good clean, but the rest of the time, I just use a wet cloth and leave it there while I'm doing other things. Come back, wipe it a bit, put the wet cloth back again, come back, wipe it a bit, and until it's gone. So there you go. Yeah. All right. So it's good to, and that's why I love chatting to you guys about these things, because we've all got our ways of doing things. And whatever way works for you is a good way. Again, as I said, don't worry about doing it the right way. Do the way that works for you. You know something? That's done. That's done. How does that look, people? So that was 10 minutes in the air fryer. And it smells absolutely wonderful. It's very expensive, Kimmy, that stuff. Yeah. All right. So that's our one. Uh, Jody, sorry. I'm just going to ask if you can take a screenshot of this one, just because I'm going to divide it up in a minute. So there you go. I'm burning my hand here, Jody. I hope she's got it. Oh. All right, so tasty. This is pretty much done as well. And again, it's pretty thick, so I'm going to add more liquid. I'm just going to add a little bit of milk to that because I'm run out of the almond milk. The reason I want it to be not quite as thick is because the macaroni will thicken it again. So we don't want it too thick for that. Yeah. So we're going to add bacon in there as well. Mix that in. Okay, now the topping, I'm obviously going to use more breadcrumbs because I have got them. So I'm going to do breadcrumbs. Some more bacon. And then I'm going to let that cook up. And then the last thing I'll put on top of the French's onions. Or do you put them on before you bake yours, Jody? Do you put your French's on at the last minute or before you bake it? Yeah, the sauce does look good. It smells good too. So it doesn't have as much cheese. We put a little bit of, shaking cheese. That's right. So put a little bit of shaking cheese on there. Yeah. I'm just trying to learn how to use it because I realize I'm not using it up fast enough. All right, that's good. And so Jody, answer me if you will. We put them on at the last minute. That's what I thought. And then return them to the oven. Okay. So, well, this is all basically cooked. So I think I can just put it on now. What did I do with it? Here we go. And then I'll just put it to keep warm in the oven for a little while rather than bake it. Oh, that's going to be so nice. Mm. What do you think, guys? Color. Red onion. What do you think? What should we put on? Some celery. Might be an idea. Pepper. And I want to put just some little bits of red pepper on top. A little bit of crunch, extra crunch. That looks good to me. Yes, red onion. You know something? If I had caramelized onion, I'd probably put it on top. I'm not good with raw onion, so I'm just going to put it in like this for now. All right. So there we go. Lots of color. So I've just put that in for 10 minutes in the air fryer on 275. In other words, I just wanted to sort of warm it up again. All right, so let me clean up some mess here, and then we will start dividing stuff up. I don't know about you guys, but I found just taking in a little minute just to put some water in things just makes it so much easier to clean it later. So I'm just going to rinse this off. Okay, here we go. Yum. So first of all, we've got my meal for tonight, and then the rest I'm going to put into here. Oh, Kimmy's saying it's got chilly again where she is. Did the weather get super cold for anyone again? Didn't get super cold, but it got close to freezing again. We're here in southern British Columbia. Jody's saying it's been chilly and windy in New Hampshire. And is saying, yep, there as well. Apparently it's going to be nice this weekend. We like that. All right, so let's get our number one dish. Good. The first thing I'm going to do is to portion off the bit I want to eat tonight. So that's about a cup and a half, I think. Crunchy. All right, so that's, and what I'm going to do is just let that get warm. And when we take that out, I will put it back in. And in the meantime, I'm going to load up these. Now, obviously, when I do this, it's going to lose some of the topping. But when I take them out, I'll add more topping to them. I think you can see that 1 cup is a pretty, it's a better portion than you think it is. Yeah, that's what I thought. It would make my dinner and 3. So 1 cup of macaroni dry, all right, will make 4 portions. I know you've been waiting to see me do this. Here you go. Oh, yeah. So I just got a bit of the crunch in it. Tastes great. And I've so been looking forward to that. Yep. Now, I didn't put salt in it, and I wanted to mention that I don't put salt in my meals, especially if I'm using cheese. Actually, you'll probably watch me put salt into some things. The only time I use salt is normally on a Friday. And also, you know that I'm allergic to garlic, so I didn't put garlic in anywhere. Isabel's saying, your mother is watching you. I apologize. I'm hoping that she's looking down and laughing at me because she knows that's just who I am. And who I am is just fine, right? But is, I love it. All right, so remember that. All right, we just had 4 ounces, 2 cups of dry, and this is half of it, made 4 meals. I'm pretty certain when you looked at the 2 cups dry, you didn't think that would make 8 meals. Am I right? But we've already got 1 meal that is keeping warm, and then 3 more here. So what I will do is I will put those into the freezer tonight along with the others. In fact, I will freeze half of them tonight and the other half tomorrow. Yum. And the only bacon fat I was left with is what was left on the bottom of my Pyrex. I thought that's pretty good, right? Yes, Jody's saying it stretches, right? It looks much more than 2 cups. Because, Jody, that's all that we allowed ourselves. And we have put it into, portion control. That's why it makes so much more. Normally, we don't think portion control. I quite often will make mac and cheese for myself, just 1 serving, about 3/4 of one of these. That's because I know that's about a cup. Now, can you see that we've got 2 completely different versions? Now, the mac and cheese that I've got that I put the vegetables in, you understand I could use that in a number of ways. I could actually cook fresh vegetables and use that mac and cheese over the top of it and make a casserole. All right. So what other things could we do with it? Because I always I find that one that we got with all the vegetables in it, I could blend it up and turn it into a cream soup, vegetable cream soup. Right. There's so many different ways that you can use these things. And I, for example, had some pureed vegetables in one of my mason jars in the fridge when I was cleaning out the fridge. And what I did is I just poured it over some turkey, pre-cooked turkey that I had. I just poured it over and added some more onion and stuff to it and baked it up for 3/4 of an hour. It was wonderful. So think about reusing these bits of vegetables in a way that serves you well and saves you money. I am more and more concerned about what's going to happen in terms of the cost of things and the availability of things. Yes, I'm about to buy quite a bit of macaroni if I can, because, I've got quite a bit of spaghetti. I'm a bit short on macaroni, so I'm going to do that. Kimmy's saying you could use it as a side dish, right, with fish. You could use it as a side if you've got a barbecue, right? Give everybody just, 1 cup, half a cup portion if necessary. I don't, if you put out the whole, if you've got a family, obviously you can put out the whole thing. But there's so many different ways that you can use mac and cheese. And I don't know many people that don't like mac and cheese, quite honestly. Most of us grew up with it in different ways. All right, so let's see how we're doing here. That looks good. So this was the healthier option. All right. What a great idea. Hi, Darlene. Darlene is saying, brilliant idea. Darlene is saying you could put it inside a round loaf of bread, take the bread out of it and then put the mac and cheese inside and bake it into a deliciousness. Brilliant idea. you use the inside to take the bread out of the, take the top off a round loaf of bread. And what a great idea. And by the way, for those of you who don't want to make as much as that, what about if you take the top third of a long baguette, and not a long baguette. Oh, that would also work. But I'm thinking a bread roll, a long one. Just take the top third off, take the bread out, and put the mac and cheese in there, and then re-grill it. What a great idea, Darlene. How nice to meet you. Where are you from? Now, I'm pretty sure that I need to taste this one, right? Because we have no idea what this tastes like. I've never done it before. Wait, first. All right, so now what I'm about to taste here is we made mac and cheese without milk. We used almond milk and we used almond flour. And we did a topping of French's onion and then some celery leaves. And we used some shaking cheese in it, right? Very easy. And now I'm going to taste it for you. Well, it doesn't quite taste like mac and cheese totally, but I want to tell you it's about 3/4 of the way there. Much better than I expected it to. So definitely the healthier version is worth trying. And I'm certain you will all, hopefully I've inspired some of you to try that in different ways, right? So think about that when you're looking to save money. 2 cups of dry macaroni made 8 servings. All right? 8 servings. Add it with a salad. If you need more food, think about, don't make it the bad food. This is almost okay to have seconds of because most of it is healthy. But that's what I always think about is if I'm still hungry, let me add fresh tomato to it, maybe fresh avocado on the plate. Think about what you can add to it that will add color and be healthy. Fresh tomatoes, maybe even tomatoes and mozzarella cheese slices. You know what I mean? I want to tell you that was surprisingly tasty. It's mine, right? I'm allowed to have more. Now, you probably think I'm just doing this for the sake of it, but I'm not. I didn't expect to like that nearly as much as I do. We learned something new today. All right. So you know that you can do it. You can blend your vegetables in with your cheese sauce and use it up. Oh, Darlene's saying she likes to add Ritz crackers crumbled on top of my mac and cheese when I bake it. Yes. I've got to be careful of the sodium, so that's why I'm inclined not to do that. But I used my own sourdough breadcrumbs, and that makes it crunchy as well. All right. And this last one, I don't know if you saw it, Darlene, we added French's onions. Now these things on top, which also gives it a crunch. Right? Ah, interesting. Jody's saying Ritz now makes low sodium crackers. Good to know. I will get some. The reason I stay away from them. Thank you, Jody. Make a note, please, so that I remember. So, guys, I hope I've inspired you to realize that mac and cheese isn't all bad. What's bad is how much you have of it. Darlene said, "Oh, I see. That sounds delicious." Okay, yeah. This was Jodie's contribution, and that's what we do here on a Friday night, Darlene, is I will cook something, but then I do a lot of what would you add to it type things. And tonight I did two completely different versions, a regular mac and cheese and then one where we tried not to use too many bad things in it. So, and surprisingly enough, this obviously gave it a really nice kick. And when I serve this, Jody, I will add more of these to it because it definitely is worth doing. What's the sodium content on these? I probably don't want to. Oh, only 3%. Surprise. I find that surprising. I would have thought that the sodium content was more by the taste of it. So not bad. Let me just get my glasses on. It will help if I can see the right information. And this says that one portion is 2 tablespoons. We like that. So when I cook this up again, when I've divided it up, when I cook it up again, I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons of onion to it. 45 calories for two tablespoons. That's not bad, people. You've got iron in it, only 1% of carbs. So better than we think it is. And that's what I'm learning, all right? And that's the whole thing I'm trying to tell you. The reason that I have, yes, that mixture, that's a good point. These onions mixed, crushed up with the low salt Ritz crackers, great topping. How about putting that over a soup as well? If you made a blended soup and then just put these and, we got lots of good ideas. I'm going off to have mac and cheese now. I hope that you all enjoyed this, and I love you dearly for allowing me to do these experiments. Because what I want you to see is that cooking, I never considered myself to be any sort of a cook. But, I love to play with food. You know that. Those of you who've known me for years, I love to play with food, right? All the time I'm doing another experiment. What would it taste like if I have never cooked mac and cheese without any real flour in it and without any real milk in it? Oh, I did put a little bit of real milk left over, right? All right, and Darlene says, "Thank you so much, Mama Sal. I love food so much too." Yeah, I love food and I don't want to stop eating it. And remember, I've now lost 11 pounds this year. And this is what I eat. Think about that. How is it possible to eat fun food like this and still lose weight? And I am not walking a whole lot. All right. In fact, last month, I've hardly walked anything. So what it is portion control. And what it is not saying to yourself, "Oh, I've got to diet and I've got it." No, you just need to realize that portion control will do most of it for you. And don't have mac and cheese every night. All right. Does that make sense? Make it a treat, which is what it's meant to be. All right. It's comfort food. Once a week, have something really nice. Yes, and Darlene is saying absolutely portion control and be consistent with it. Yeah. Now, tomorrow I'm going out to have dinner with Yvonne, my dear friend Yvonne, and I'm having poutine. Now, poutine is about the most unhealthy food you can think of. Why? It's fries covered with covered with cheese curds and then gravy. That is not healthy and loads of sodium in there. But I only have it about once every season. So I want to tell you, I really enjoy it. When was the last time I had fries? When I was with Marnie. That was in the middle of March, I think. All right. So think about that. All right. When I go out, I have fries. It's just like, oh, I'm going out to lunch or dinner. I can have fries. That's how I do it. I still love fries. And by the way, when I went out to lunch with Marnie or dinner with Marnie, we ordered more fries. I didn't order fries with mine, but she did, and then we ordered more. It was just such fun. And my A1C, for those of you who know about being diabetic, my A1C still came in at 5.8. You see, it's not what you do, is how much you do it. All right, that makes the difference. And so remember that, and you'll be just fine. All right, this is DearMamaSal saying thank you so much. I'm going to have my mac and cheese now. I'm so looking forward to it. Bye bye for now. Thanks, Jody, for all your help, and all of you for being here to make it such fun. I love doing these experiments for you. Bye bye for now. Got to clean up now after I've eaten.